Hi. As we study the book of Deuteronomy, we're taken back to the story of the Exodus and of the Israelites' journey from Egypt to the Promised Land. As the Israelites prepared to occupy their new homeland, God instructed them to put to death and totally eradicate their enemies, the Canaanites, who were living there. They were to kill every living thing, including women and children. For example, in Deuteronomy 20 verses 16 and 17, Moses says to the people, "In the cities of the nations that the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance, do not leave alive anything that breathes. Completely destroy them." And that directive raises a question that is one of the most difficult questions Christians are obliged to answer, which is, how could a good God who teaches us to value human life order the wholesale extermination of entire populations, including women and children? That's a fair question because it offends our modern sensibilities, and it even seems to call into question the very character of God. Countless sermons and lectures and articles and even entire books have been written to address that question. But in this edition of Insights, I'm going to give you the answer in a nutshell. God had a reason for ordering the deaths of the Canaanites, including the women and the children. And Moses declares that reason immediately after the verses that I just read. In Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 18, Moses says to the people that if they did not put to death all of the Canaanites, including the women and the children, they will teach you to follow all of the detestable things they do in worshiping their gods, and you will sin against the Lord your God. The Canaanites were exceedingly godless and completely evil. And God knew that unless every last trace of Canaanite culture was totally eradicated, that would come back to infect the Israelites and cause the Israelites to turn away from God. God didn't want that to happen. But why kill the children? I mean, why not just adopt the children and raise them as their own? Well, for one thing, we can assume that if the children had been allowed to live, that they would have eventually realized that the Israelites had put their parents and their families to death, and they would resent that and possibly turn against the Israelites. But the ultimate answer to the question is simply that God is God. God knows everything, including the future, and He's infinitely wise. And God has grounds for everything He does. God doesn't do what is right, but everything that God does is right. That is not true of you and me, but it is true of Him because He is perfect. Now, may God apply those truths to your heart and to your mind so that you grow in your knowledge of Him. Now go out and have a great day in the Lord.